So you know how everybody seems like they do smash burgers on their Blackstone? Well, I decided that we need to do a different kind of burger, and I am testing something today that we have never had before. So I have no idea if this is going to turn out, if it's going to be good, bad, or just kind of, well, in the middle there. But here's the really cool thing. It's a really simple recipe, and all you're doing is basically making burger ingredients and then topping your burger with whatever you normally like to put on your burger. So we're going to make this super fast. We're doing another kind of like lunch dinner today so that we can go do some more hiking again this afternoon. If you haven't seen our hiking video, you need to check that out. I'll leave a link for that in the description below. We're at Kofa National Wildlife Refuge, still enjoying our time here. We're going to be here probably a total of about 10 days or so. We're going to keep cooking and hiking and enjoying this beautiful weather out in the desert in January. Yeah. So let's go ahead and start cooking. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and get this grill preheated. My griddle, I guess it's a griddle. And listen for the click. There it goes. I can hear it. So I'm going to go ahead and just put this lid down and talk a little bit about these ingredients. This is really all you need here. We're doing ground beef, and we're also doing a little bit of bacon in there. We've got onion powder. I like to just use garlic salt. And then I'm going to have a little bit of black pepper, and we've got some cheese and some tortillas. And then whatever you want to put on top, whatever you normally like on your burger, add that later. So this is really all you need if you want just a basic cheeseburger, a bacon cheeseburger, I should say. But the cool thing about this bacon cheeseburger is that it isn't going to be served on a bun. It's actually going to be a wrap. So kind of think Taco Bell-ish, kind of think, burger-ish. Yeah, you know how they do those tacos that are like grilled, they put them in a shell and then they grill them. Well, that's kind of what we're going for here. So hopefully it's going to turn out. And you know that I don't like to take lettuce that is any kind of a fragile kind of lettuce. I'm always using spinach on anything that calls for a lettuce kind of thing. I use spinach when we're camping because it lasts so much longer. It's a nice, hearty, fresh green, leafy green, and so that is always my choice. I've got a video about how I prep all of my fresh vegetables for all of my camping trips, so I'll leave a link for that in the description below. I'm starting out with a little bit of bacon here, 8 slices of bacon for 4 servings, so that would mean 2 pieces of bacon per burger, which I'm fine with. How are you? Double it. Pete, Pete, he hasn't yet tested. I said, don't make me run out of cheese here. So he hasn't tested the cheese or the bacon because the bacon is obviously still raw here. And I always use thick sliced bacon. We like it better. It's more bacon per slice, right? So if you use a thinner bacon, it's easier to crumble when you're crumbling. And that's what we're going to do here. So we're just going to fry this bacon up, and then we're going to crumble it and put it in with our ground beef. But I'm going to get the bacon started first here. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do 8 slices of thick. What is that? 3, 6, 7, 8. Here we go. But if I don't leave enough bacon for breakfast in the morning, I'm in trouble. We've had some really windy afternoons here, so I'm really happy that it's not super, super windy right now to cook. Easier to keep the flame going and just kind of not make as much of a mess. I did have a little spinach blow away earlier, so if there's any rabbits around, I'm sure they're going to be happy about that. I didn't try to go find it. We've got the smallest little Blackstone. I don't think they make one smaller than this. So, but you know what? It's perfect. You just kind of, if you're cooking for a bigger group, you just kind of have to manage your griddle space a little bit, but like this works for us. So I think for a family of 4, it's great. And obviously I'm normally just cooking for 2. Now this recipe actually calls for 1 pound of ground beef, but my package is, My package is like 1 1/3. And so I'll have a little extra meat. And you know us, we don't mind. We love meat. So I'm going to go ahead and cook the whole thing. And then if I have leftovers of this meat, this is an easy thing to reinvent, to make like nachos out of it, or put it in some pasta. So you know me, I love having leftovers because I can always reinvent them into something else. So let me get these bacon pieces moved over a little bit and give me some room on the grill here for some of this ground beef. It almost smells like breakfast. Well, you know, for us, because we like bacon and almost like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it kind of just smells like it's time to eat around our campsite. All right, here we go with the ground beef. And I am avoiding touching raw meat so that I don't have to go washing my hands every 10 minutes. I want to just break this up a little bit. And you know, the other reason that I really like cooking on the Blackstone is because it's so easy to keep things, you know, if everything isn't done at the same time, it's easy to keep things, you know, kind of warm on the grill, turn it off, or, you know, just kind of put it in a not so hot spot on the grill so it stops cooking, but it stays nice and warm. So I love this thing. In fact, this whole trip, I decided that's all I was going to do is make Blackstone recipes. But we still have our grill and we still have our stove. So if we do want to do something else, we can. It is nice when you have extra equipment. So if I'm doing something where it does take a lot more space than what we have right here on the Blackstone, then I can always move, you know, something over to either the grill or the stove. You know, I really like doing this instead of slicing up or chopping the bacon, because like eventually you got to crumble it, right? But I like doing this because then I'm not touching all that raw meat. It's like if I just use tongs and get the bacon out of the package and then let it cook and then crumble it or chop it up with a knife later, like that's my preference if I can. Trying to use as little water as possible when we're out here boondocking and we don't have a water hookup. What's your favorite burger joint? If we hardly ever go out for burgers, Pete makes a really awesome burger. And so we have a hard time spending money to go out for a burger. But if we do go out for fast food, we want an In-N-Out burger because they have such good quality food and their fries are great and their shakes are great. Everything's great at In-N-Out, right? And if you don't have In-N-Out where you live, then anytime you get a chance to go to one of those places, you need to try them out. Double animal style, that is with grilled onions, animal style. Super delicious. Whenever you're cooking on any surface, you kind of like see where your hot spots are. So I can see that this bacon is getting done here a lot faster than this bacon over here, which makes sense because this is the H pattern inside here. So I'm just going to kind of keep moving things around, and then I'll shift the stuff that's getting done a little bit faster to a spot on the grill that's a little bit cooler, so everything is done at the same time. Timing is not always easy, especially when you're cooking outside and you've got, you know, wind factors and all that kind of stuff going on that kind of messes with you and your cooking. Yeah, so these were the cooler spots. So all these pieces of bacon that are a little bit almost done, I'm going to go ahead and move those over here. Get them cooking a little bit slower. So this, once I get this bacon off of here, it's going to get chopped up and then it's going to get mixed back in with the ground beef. We went on a great hike yesterday. We were like in the afternoon, really hoping that we were going to see some great wildlife, especially like bighorn sheep on the mountain, and we didn't. We had a bust. So hopefully we're going to try again. We know we're going to try again. Hopefully we'll see something the next time we try. All right, I am looking good here on this bacon. So if I got some pieces that don't want to sit down for me, I'll just pull my bacon press out. In fact, I think I'm going to do that right now. And let that finish up while I start messing with that hamburger a little bit more. You know, these things are great for bacon. They're also great anytime you're doing like a little panini sandwich where you want everything really toasted and kind of smushed. I love those things. We need to make some of those. You know what I need? Oh my gosh, I didn't ask for this for Christmas. There's little things that you can clip on here that will... You got one? Where is it? You didn't give it to me. Oh my gosh, my Christmas present that never arrived, and now he tells me that he did get it, and it's a surprise. Well, now would be a good time to pull it out, but anyway, I'll show you that once he gives me my surprise. It clips on here, so like when you're tossing food, you're not losing food through the little hole back here. You're only losing your grease through there. I can smell this bacon. I got to get it off. When bacon smells like bacon, you got to get it off. It's time. My plates here are nice and warm because they're sitting in the sun. And I love that because when I want to put hot food on a plate, I don't want it to be a cold plate. These are definitely looking beautiful. And, you know, if I'm in doubt, I can always have Pete test the bacon because he is the official bacon tester. Now the bacon, I'm going to let it just cool over here, and then I'm going to chop it up. I'm going to roll it around in this paper towel so it gets some of the grease. And while that's draining a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and start spreading my hamburger out a little more. This is a pretty lean meat here, so I'm not going to be dealing with a bunch of grease. I definitely have this hot spot over here you can see on the grill, so anything that I need a little extra heat on, these pinker pieces of meat, I'm going to stick them over here. I'll cool my grill down and then get all the meat kind of cooked at the same level. Whatever pieces need to catch up a little bit because I wasn't moving them really good while we had a full grill with all that bacon. I like the idea of using garlic, salt, and onion powder. It's on some recipes. Some you gotta just go ahead and do chop the real deal. But for this particular recipe, I think this is gonna work. But again, haven't tested this. We're gonna test it together today, so hopefully it turns out well. You know, it's kind of funny. When we eat burgers, when we make them at home, we hardly ever put like pickle on there. We never put ketchup on our burgers. But it's like when you go out, sometimes it's served that way and it's really good. So I don't know why we don't always do that. Anyway, all I brought out here today with me is the stuff that we typically put on our burgers. Except for the pickles. We normally will serve these on the side, but today we're going to actually put it right here inside the burger. Instead of gas bagging, I should have been chopping my sides. So my tomato, I need to chop up my tomato and my spinach a little bit. But in the meantime, I am going to add my onion powder. Wow, you can see how much grease I got on everything out here. I'm doing a teaspoon of onion powder and, ooh, look at that. I can't lose it all. If more of it flies away, I probably need to add a little bit more because, you know, that's what happens in the wind. All right, so we got onion powder and then we got the garlic salt. So that's giving me the garlic and the salt all in one shot, which is really nice. I almost always cook with onion and garlic together, so I'm not worried about kind of like mixing those using the same spoon. And then I only need about a half a teaspoon of this black pepper. And that's it for seasoning the meat. If I feel like this got a little bit dry, then I'm just going to shoot it with a little bit of water. Make sure you always have your water bottle close when you're doing your Blackstone stuff. Give that a little bit of moisture since I've been gas bagging. I'm going to hurry up and chop up my spinach and my tomato right now. And you know how I like to do my spinach? Just kind of roll that all up together. It's almost like you're doing a little pack of basil there. I like doing it this way so you're not having like big chunks of spinach that you're biting into. And I know like when people do like iceberg lettuce, they do like the whole thing. And I even do that with iceberg, if I ever use iceberg, which is very rare. But it's just easier. So like you're not getting a whole bunch of like, you know, green stuff as you're trying to bite into your burger or your whatever it is. I know that a lot of people will put a whole slice of tomato on a burger, and I just don't like that. I would rather do like little, dice it up a little bit so that like, you know, you're getting a little bit in each bite and you're not. Last thing that I'm going to do is chop up this bacon. Pete, do you want to test it?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. How is it? Safe
Definitely
to eat?
Safe, yeah.
It might be safe, but is it good? It's bacon. How can it not be good, right? And mix the bacon in. Here's the next thing that we're going to do. We are going to build the wraps. So again, today I am just cooking for 2 of us, even though I'm making this recipe is for 4. So I'm going to just use half of the meat here, and then I'll save the rest and reinvent those. Probably do nachos or something. I don't know for sure yet. So, so what I want to do is I'm going to build everything in here, roll it up like a burrito, and then we're going to toast it so it's toasted on the Blackstone. I got to make sure that I'm kind of only building the center, so when I fold this up, I don't have stuff oozing out of the edges. This is how I like to portion. So if this is supposed to feed 4, I just divide it right now. I go, all right, this is half, and that's half, and that's a quarter, and that's a quarter. So it's a whole lot easier than trying to go a little bit at a time on each portion. Smelling good. What do you think, Pete?
That's awesome.
All right, so then we want to put on all the other stuff that we want on our burger. So both of us like mustard on our burgers. And so I'm going to add some of that. So we already got the meat and the cheese in there. Pete does not like spinach. I do. Do you want some? Do you want some today?
Yeah, let's do it.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. All right. How about tomato?
Yeah.
Pickles. These are hot and sweet Snickers. We both like these. Pete likes, you know that Pete likes heat a lot more than I do. And I'm just going to put whole pickles on here. These things have onions in them too, so that's kind of nice. It probably would be better to use something more like relish, pickle relish, but I'm trying this. Let's see how it goes. If I knew for sure which one was going to be which, I would put this pepper in Pete's. But I don't, so I'm setting it aside for him. I'll let that cool, then I can throw that in my refrigerator. Don't ever put hot food in your refrigerator. It's so hard for these RV refrigerators to keep and maintain a really good, safe, cold temperature. And when you make them work extra hard because you put hot stuff in there, that's a bad deal. I'm going to scrape this off a little bit here, shoot it with a teeny bit of water and clean it a little bit. I got to refill my water jug, my water bottle. I'm just trying to get the worst of this off of here. And then we'll start to roll and toast. All right, we want to be about a medium heat. I turned this down when I was going a little bit too long on that meat, so I'm going to turn this back up to medium heat, let that come up while I am rolling these wraps. You know, I'm not really great at wrapping wraps and burritos, but here's what you're supposed to do. Pull the centers in, and then you want this to be all kind of down here. So when you roll it, it all stays in there. And we are wrapping. Keep wrapping in here, making a little bit of a mess. That's what paper towels are for. Now we are going to take that and we're going to go seam side down here and toast it closed, and then we're going to flip it. I'm going to put this one right here. I'm going to put the lid down, and I'm going to try to not make a mess when I wrap this second one. So it's easier to kind of build at this one side. I'm not good at this. Sorry. Anyway, we'll see how it turns out. Hopefully it's going to taste fantastic. We are wrapping, folding in, wrapping. All right, and then there's my seam right there. I think this one wrapped better. I'm going to go seam side down. We might have something a little bit coming out of here, but I don't think so. I think we'll be okay. There's the seam. And now we should be able to just let that heat through, toast up the tostada. It's not a tostada, the tortilla. We'll toast up the tortilla. All the food inside is already warm. And so we're just basically sealing the seam, and then we're going to flip it over and toast the other side. And so it should be like a nice, crunchy, interesting sandwich. We'll see if we like it. I don't know. So far, what do you think, Pete? Is it going to be good or not?
I have high hopes.
You do have high hopes?
Yes.
All right, great. All right, so let's see what this looks like. So all we want is a little bit of brown here on this side. We've got it on this one, but it's not sticking together. See that? So this is another one of those uses. If you wanted to use your bacon press, you could use your bacon press on this and kind of hold it. It might be a little bit heavy, but it's a nice way to kind of, when you want to keep a sandwich like this together, just a little bit of weight on the top can help to keep it all together. Let's see, this one's looking better. We'll see which one turns out the best. Take this off. Maybe I should smash this one down. What do you think, Pete? I think the more browned it gets, the more crispy it gets. I think that's going to taste better. So I was going to serve this with a little bit of coleslaw, but I'm just going to do some chips and some more pickles today. Make it simple. You up for that?
Yeah.
All right. So you can see here, this one that had the torn tortilla, you got a little bit of cheese coming out that side. See it in there? So I'm going to go ahead and flip it again. See, that looks beautiful. I should have left a little more grease on that grill. See how I left some tortilla on there? And you can see that this is starting to get smoky. So I know that I need to turn this off and just keep them warmed. I'm going to go grab some potato chips and some more pickles, and we're going to have our lunch dinner, right? So that we have time to go do another hike. All right, so anyway, let me see. We'll check it out. I'm going to pull this off of here. I'm going to slice it up, see what it looks like inside. We'll take a bite and let you know how it goes. Hopefully it was worth it. Serrated edge is always your friend. Anytime you're trying to cut something like this, any other kind of knife might just smash it, but this should make it where it's a nice little slice. I always like to go on the diagonal. It just seems like it holds the food in there better. I don't know. And I have, let's see. All right. That is a bacon cheeseburger, if I've ever seen a bacon cheeseburger wrap. Bacon cheeseburger wrap. It looks really good. It smells really good. Let's see how it tastes. It's a good burger. And it's unique. I like it. I hope Pete does too. We'll see you again soon.